The regular meeting of the South Lebanon City Council to order October the 2nd, 2025 at 6:00 p.m.
Allen,
Present.
Carmack,
Present.
Combs,
Present.
Fetter,
Present.
Harrison,
Present.
Spicer.
Present.
If you could all rise for the prayer and the pledge. Dear Heavenly Father, as we come to you today, we pray for the peace in our nation. Let us be respectful to one another. Thank you for this day and the blessings you have bestowed on South Lebanon and our citizens. Help us to strengthen our community and let us all work together for the good of our community. Let the work we do be acceptable in your sight. We pray we make wise decisions for our community. Protect our first responders and please keep them safe as they go about their missions. And we ask for the protection of our nation. We pray for our leaders and our citizens. Thank you for the gift of this nation. In your holy name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, and you all may be seated. Tonight we have a special guest, which we normally don't have, but I will introduce her. Her name is Savannah Cook, and she can come to the podium. She is a social worker at Talbert House, and she has a presentation for us.
Not really a presentation, more of information.
Information.
Yes. Okay, well, as she just kindly introduced me, I'm Savannah, worked at Talbert House, which is a social service agency. Can you hear me better?
I don't think it's on.
It is just, yeah.
Do you need me to talk? You need me to lean a little bit more forward?
Oh.
I think it's on.
Yours.
Because you went right into it, you still, you're.
Is this better?
That's better.
Do you need me to hold it here? Okay.
Name and address.
Name and address?
Yes.
Okay, well, I am Savannah Cook. I live at, like, my full address?
Yeah.
1417 Grandin Road, Mainville, Ohio, South Lebanon, Ohio. And I will be giving you guys some a little bit information on how to help the community, especially addressing the homeless population that is growing in South Lebanon and all of Warren County. I guess my first big question for you guys would be, do you guys know how many homeless shelters we have available in Warren County? Anyone have a guess?
5.
1. And it is composed of 12 beds. It is actually here in South Lebanon. It is Bernie's Place.
Right.
It's
And
six.
that's it?
That is it. We have 1 homeless shelter. Technically 2 if you count Family Promise in Lebanon, but that is addressed only for families, and it is full majority of the time. They have helped 28 families so far this year alone. So some of the big concerns with the homeless population is that majority of that population has either mental health issues or they have a substance use diagnosis. And that can be very dangerous for those that are not aware of how to handle a situation like that. So there are a few resources in place, especially in South Lebanon alone, that a lot of people know about. The big one is community care coordinators. So we have one at Talbert House. I have that phone number and a whole spreadsheet for you guys as well of the resources. Her name is Amber. She can be contacted by Joshua's Place, any of the sheriffs, any of you, if you run into a situation where you see an individual on the streets or you come across an individual in the store, at Joshua's Place, any of the community service areas that you are concerned about their well-being, how they're acting, because it can be very dangerous to interact with these individuals if you are not aware of how to de-escalate a situation. We have Stephanie through the Hope Line. She is specifically for crises that involve substance use, and she will come out with an officer, a trained officer on how to de-escalate that situation. And these individuals would take, these community care coordinators would take these individuals and place them in facilities or treatment centers that can help them, and then they will be placed in permanent supportive housing. So it is a way to kind of eliminate the homeless population, but also prevent them from re-entering the population as a homeless individual. Because that is kind of the big concern we're having, is they're getting thrown in jail and then released a week later and right back on the street. We're not hitting the root problem here. And then we also offer crisis intervention training for local law enforcement through the Mental Health Board. So this is training where the officers will come out with us and they will shadow us for an entire week. They will interact with our clientele and see how we interact with them and how to de-escalate a situation, a crisis, because these crises can be pretty scary at times. I've encountered quite a few. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can escalate the situation even further. In Warren County alone, I believe we have 10 sheriff deputies that have gone through our crisis intervention training, and Springboro, Clear Creek, they have also done the training, and Lebanon has also done the training so far. Just a few officers from each, and the entire parole board, Adult Parole Authority, has also done it. So those are our trained officers in that area right now. Any questions?
So there isn't a South Lebanon officer that has taken the training yet? Is that what you're saying?
I cannot guarantee it is a South Lebanon sheriff specifically, but there are 10 Warren County deputies that have taken the training. We have one coming up in the end of October, so I will meet a few more deputies. I think there's a few, and we have, I think, 10 officers in total taking the training. I can't tell you for sure what departments they're from at this time. I will know when I get to the training. Yeah.
Is there a pamphlet or anything that you can?
I have pamphlets and a little guide with all of our phone numbers on it for
Love
you
to have
guys.
it.
Yes. And we are working on a new facility on Kingsview Drive right now. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about it. It is going to be a residential building. It's going to compose of 16 beds. It is going to be a step up. So anyone that is in crisis that doesn't meet the criteria to go into the hospital, but is in an active crisis, whether it's substance use or mental health, they can be placed in this facility under our watch. Talbot House will actually be running that facility. So that is something.
That's great news.
It is going to be a big help for those that can't be pink slipped. And if they can't be pink slipped, we kind of run into the situation where they are just left there until they inevitably end up arrested and then put in the jail and then released a week or so later.
So I have a couple questions.
Yeah.
So I know with the homeless shelters, the one here in South Lebanon, for instance, they have a time allotment. They stay 90 days, they have to move out. They end up going to Claremont County for 90 days. Then they go homeless for 90 days, and then they can come back into South Lebanon. And it's a cycle that they're trying to cure. There's no legislation anyway to fix that. But I guess some of these places that you're talking about, do they have those time slots?
Yes, we have, Talbot House themselves has a few facilities.
Mhm.
None of our facilities are in Warren County. They're all in Clinton County.
Right.
And it's board paid funding that pays for their stay, and they get 90 days there. The goal is when they go into these facilities, they are supposed to be connected, which is not happening. That's the big issue.
There's a break in that.
Yeah, they're not connecting with services. So for example, what I do is I, on a day-to-day basis, work with, I have a caseload of 90 right now, and my primary goal is to keep them stable. And one of the biggest things is housing. So if they get connected to services such as myself, that becomes a priority of what we're working on, is housing, stability, of those natures. But they're going into these shelters and then we're not getting the referrals. So we have individuals specifically assigned to come out in the community and get these individuals connected to services that will help them.
Okay, and my second question is, on the 16-bed facility that you're putting up on Kingsview, is that connected to Solutions? Because we know Solutions already has a bookload of people they can't take anymore. So is these two connected? Like, are they going to not break that link, or?
Solutions has dissolved. We no longer have Solutions. They have merged with GCBH, Greater Cincinnati Behavioral Health, and they are taking over their clientele. This facility specifically is going to be ran by Talbot House, but it is board funded through Warren County's Mental Health Board and Hamilton County's Mental Health Board. So the beds are going to be designed to help these individuals these individuals don't have to be connected at that moment, but as soon as they step into the facility, they are going to be connected to services. We have a case manager that is assigned there to simply get them connected to whatever service agency they would like to go to, whether it's Tower House, GCBH, Butler Behavioral, any of those.
Any other questions?
What is the estimated number of homeless in this county? Do you know?
I do not have an exact number. I don't have one specific to Warren County. I have one in the Ohio population in total. Right now, we're at about 12,000 people in Ohio alone. That's about a 3% increase from last year.
Can I ask a question about, when they enter into these facilities, are there, things that can be done to help them get jobs, to help them move on to being able to have a better life? Or is it just, here's a home for 90 days and,
Yes, we have. If I could unload my brain with the amount of resources I have available, it would take all night. There are plenty of resources. The biggest thing I think we're having the issue with is that linkage, is they don't realize these resources are available and they're just being put in they're being put in a homeless shelter and then just sitting there for 90 days.
okay. How do you link them up? I mean, it's your job then to go in and link them up with the resources?
Yes. So Amber's the one I work with closely because she's the one that's through our agency. She will bring them in to our facility. She will come pick them up from the side of the road, bring them into our office. They will come in, get engaged in services. They come in with no ID, no insurance, no, all of them important life documents. That is our first step, is getting them those documents and getting them a place to be. So that way we can continue with our services. And then from there, they get assigned to someone like me, and we'll decide level of care, whether their level of care needs to be, they need to be seen once a week, they need to be seen once a month, depending on how high their needs are. And we move forward from there and develop a service plan. And that'll go over housing, job, medication, because a lot of these clients need some pretty heavy medications, and go forward from there, and build the stability that way.
Anybody else? If you want to, you can hand out your
Yeah.
lit right now.
Yeah.
And I just want to thank you for coming and sharing this information with
Yes,
us.
thank you for
because
your time.
it can make a difference in our community.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you want to, you can just leave it all with Jennifer and she'll get it to us. That way we don't have to have you. Thank you. Great presentation. Now I will open the floor to the public, and we have on the list, Stephen, and could you pronounce your last name for me? Smaney.
There you go. It doesn't look anything like it's spelled.
It doesn't, and so I didn't want to butcher it.
Since kindergarten, we answered anything with an S.
There you go.
Stephen, and then just look up and go, ah.
Oh.
I have people that know 30 years, they still pronounce it.
If you could just state your name and your address.
So my name is Steve Smaney. I live at 584 Pauline Drive. Lived there for about 11 months now. I debated if I should approach the council with my concerns, and after going back and forth, here I am. On my property, I have a stormwater easement that runs from the rear of my property, which takes in the water from the drainage field of Deerfield.
I don't know, just in
Cemetery.
case it picks it up.
Okay. Want me to start over?
Yeah.
So on my property, I have a drainage easement that runs from Deerfield Cemetery and Spicer Memorial, goes into a pipe behind my property, under my property, and eventually ties into the sewer system on Pauline Drive. Along the path of this pipe, we've developed several sinkholes. And I suspect that the pipe is compromised where the pipe goes into the sewers along the right of way and it's washing out part of my driveway. When the storm system was upgraded in 2022, if you remember that on Pauline Drive, this section of my driveway was excavated. We did not own the property at the time. But we've been told by neighbors and people in the public works that that was excavated down deep as part of the upgrade. It's also my understanding from speaking to longtime employees of the Public Works Department that this pipe was faulty. It was broken and they did their best to put it back together. I've spoken to Jerry and Harry about the situation and they told me that there's no record of my easement on any of the plats. So so it is not their responsibility. And this is why I'm here to address my concerns. The original plat, which was hand-drawn in the mid-50s, does not show an easement. However, the original deed from the 50s of when Doug Baldridge, who used to be on the council here a long time ago, it was his house that we live in now. There is a mention of a drainage easement. So sometime between when the plat was hand-drawn and the completion of the section, this pipe was added and tied into the sewers. So the first sinkhole developed in April, and at the time, Harry did come out and try to scope from the sewer. However, they could only get 6 feet from the sewer before hitting debris from the path of the camera, so they couldn't go any further. That 6 feet basically took to the middle of the street, so they were still nowhere near my property. So we don't know where this pipe is collapsed. We don't know if it's in the right of way. We don't know if it's in the street because they couldn't get any further than the 6 feet. And the camera that they have here is not a robot. And they didn't want to push it any further and break it. So there was one sinkhole that was in the right of way. And then there was a second sinkhole that developed about a month after that, which was basically at the foundation of my house that I have filled in with rocks and sand, and I put patch on it because I didn't want it to grow any further. What I'm asking for is for South Lebanon to investigate and repair the pipe that they worked on in 2022, because this original sinkhole is now redeveloping. It gets much worse when it's raining, when there's a lot of water coming down that drain field from the cemetery, because it's washing away the rocks underneath. Also, when it rains a lot, my sump pump keeps going off like every 6 minutes. I don't know if that has anything to do with it or it's just a very high water table on my property. Thank God I have a sump pump, 2 sump pumps to take care of the water. I don't know if the pipe is broken someplace along the way also, but there's no sinkholes anywhere else on my property except for the front. Also in the past, South Lebanon has repaired the same stretch of pipe for my neighbor across the street. That pipe eventually goes down to the culvert between, I guess, Sunset and Pike Street, the cement river there. The house across the street developed a sinkhole. South Lebanon came in and fixed that. And also the house across the street from me does also mention that there's a easement on their property also, but no other properties, none of my other neighbors mentioned. So I'm assuming it's that same drainage easement. So back in 2022, when an attempt was made to reroute that pipe to my neighbor, Mackenzie Veith, that was eventually rejected because she wanted some more compensation. You passed a resolution and it stated providing utilities, including stormwater management, is one of the functions of the local municipal government. All I'm asking for is for you to honor that statement and take a look and see and repair this pipe that is compromising my property. Thank you. And I have pictures of the sinkholes if you'd like to see them. And thank you.
So unfortunately, Chase isn't here today. He's at a,
Our solicitor's not
Yeah.
here right now.
yeah. So I think we can have him research the easement history, because we haven't been able to find any recordable easement. And then we'll potentially look at possibly a maybe a temporary easement to fix that along the road. As far as, under the house and back into the, township property, that portion, I will have to wait and see what he says about the easement.
Yeah, I think
I mean-
we're relying on a hand-drawn plat from 1953.
Yeah.
Things are
So,
done different then than they are done now, and my deed does say there's a drainage easement.
so we'll have,
Only place, only thing that could mention.
we'll have Chase do a formal title search to examine any easements and see what's on record. And then we'll go from there. But I mean, we did a lot to alleviate that stormwater issue on that section of town because there were multiple houses. I don't know if you who was here, remember what the issues were. You know, I wish we could have got that easement from your neighbor, and that would have alleviated a lot of that.
I wish Mackenzie did that.
But let's see what we can do to get this resolved. So,
Thank you.
yeah,
Thank you.
yeah. Appreciate your patience.
Does council have any questions?
Yeah, I mean, so I have a follow. We don't know when this pipe was put in. You know, Jerry might say it was could have been applied, which doesn't make sense. Especially with that whole engineering to get into that pipe, so I just.
Let us investigate it and we'll do our due diligence and we'll get back with you. But if you do have pictures and the such, please submit them so we have them, and
Should I email them to?
you can email them to Jerry or to Harry or to myself. We all have, our addresses are all out there, so, or email addresses.
So there you go. So those dotted lines there, that was probably where the original easement was supposed to go. And.
Yeah, these are setback lines, so,
Here's that edge right there. That's where-
yeah, so here's the neighbor across, down the street, I think.
Oh, there it is. That's
We're on-
But
we're 130.
unfortunately, it's way before us and
Yeah.
we,
Yeah,
we-
way
we-
before us.
we get, we deal with stuff sometimes, over 100 years old, so, we'll see what we can do and see if we can't get it,
I mean, record keeping probably wasn't the same back.
Oh, no. But there are records of it somewhere.
When he wanted anyway.
back then.
Yeah.
Who knows?
so,
Pretty much.
so we'll see what we can do.
If you'd like my card, here it is, so you can. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Are there anybody else want to speak from the floor? Seeing and hearing no one, I will now close the floor and we will move on to business. New business, emergency resolution 2025-41, amending resolution number 2025-20 to authorize the city administrator to execute a project grant agreement and document within the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development to, this is long, to the South Lebanon Community Center Rehabilitation Project. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I will need a motion and a second to waive the 2 reading rule.
Brenda Combs, motion made. Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
A motion now and a second to adopt by title only emergency resolution 2025-41, amending resolution number 2025-20.
Linda Allen, motion made.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Feder,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. Moving on to emergency ordinance 2025-20, amending the city's compensation plan from pay grade 7 to pay grade 8 for the city assistant administrator. Is there any discussion or questions?
Yes, I have one. If you look at that ordinance, never mind, I see it. Cross examination. I saw those numbers and I thought, wait, that's a resolution I'm on,
It's okay.
All right, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Didn't we just do this at the end of last year, and why are
No.
we doing it?
We didn't do it. We were supposed to do it because of Jerry's leaving. We may need an assistant administrator. And we want to have that was recommended, wasn't it? Everybody, Jerry?
Yeah, it was the Personnel Committee, I think, in like April of last year, I think it was, but this specific one was never acted on. So that's the only one that wasn't acted on by council.
At the time, at the Personnel Committee meeting, we were not going to be filling that position, so there was no need to enact on doing anything with that pay grade. But at that time, the Public Works Director position was established as a level 7, and then both Jerry and myself were established as a level 9. So the intent was when it came time to maybe fill this position, that we would go back and actually get this position upgraded to a level 8. But nothing was done at that time.
I do have a question. So I know that we did that. I was in that meeting. My question is, on the city administrator's job, Harry took over the public works. And now we have a code enforcer and we took that work off. So what I'm saying is this going to be a temporary fix or a permanent?
It could be an interim. I don't know at this point, but what we're looking at is if you look at your organizational chart.
Yeah, I pulled the charter.
Okay, there's a lot to do.
Yeah.
And if we happen to have a situation that could develop, that we do not have a full administrator in here, we're gonna have to have somebody to fill that position until we get a new city administrator.
Okay,
And so in other words, it would be hopefully a temporary position.
okay. And we
But
already worked
with
that in the
growth
budget?
that we have, go ahead, Tina.
I do believe, my understanding is that we do not currently have an assistant city administrator position in the budget. And I don't believe tonight we're asking for that to happen. I think it's just changing what pay grade it would be if this position was to be filled. And with the knowledge of it may happen sooner than later because of the fact of Mr. Haddock's leaving. This is why we didn't do it last year, because the intent was not to fill the assistant city administrator position. It was to have a public works director instead of an assistant city administrator. But I do believe, like, even when they brought my position in, they brought me in as an assistant fiscal officer before that, for a temporary period of time before I was the finance director, because just for any crossover time. So I think this is just going to give the flexibility of where this position would fall.
Any other questions?
Okay, I do. What about the education of the assistant in case we don't get it filled? And
What do you mean the education, their
Their quali-
requirements?
Yes, and would he be able to make decisions that Jerry makes now? I don't
I'm-
understand
I'm
that
not-
part.
Well, the job description says what it's gonna take to fill the position.
Correct, and
So I
with,
think that's what
and
she's
it
asking.
would be a collaborative input with myself, the council. I mean, these are all things that we have to be prepared, the bridge that we may have to cross. And that's why this position hasn't been advertised or anything yet, but we are in the process right now of searching for a city administrator. But if the worst case scenario comes up, you have to have something in place that would attract someone who Yes, they would have to have meet the
Right.
job criteria,
That
the
would be a little
educational.
dangerous.
No, we're not just gonna put anybody in charge.
Yes.
Um,
Okay.
no, that's not gonna happen. Okay,
So the council will still have a say or a voice.
Uh, in the budgeting part of it, yeah, as far as for the assistant administrator. For the new administrator, the council will have to approve approve it with the,
you'll get a
based on the
recommendation
recommendation
from me,
from
but
there.
you will have to approve whoever the new city administrator will be. Is that the same for assistant? No, they can just be appointed, correct, Jerry? The assistant?
Yes.
And that's in the charter.
And hopefully that won't become an issue, but we've got to be prepared for it.
Right.
But as Mayor Burke mentioned, that's not in the budget, so we would have to come back to council to budget to fill an additional position. So if you promote it within, you wouldn't necessarily be filling an additional position because it's not a budget issue. But if the intent, I believe, is not to add a public works director and an assistant city administrator and put another person in administration. That is not the intent. That's not what's in the budget right now. So that would be part of next year's capital or next year's budget for a discussion.
Thank you. So I will need a motion and a second to waive the 2 reading rule for emergency ordinance 2025-20.
Linda, and I make a motion.
Lisa, I'll second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Now, a motion and a second to adopt by title only emergency ordinance 2025-20.
Brenda Combe, motion made.
Linda Allen, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. A motion and a second to approve the invoices.
Brenda Combs, motion made.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. A motion and to approve a then and now certificate for $5,840.64, authorizing the payment of said amount to Core and Main related to the purchase of 27 water meters. Is there any discussion or questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Then now, what is that?
Tina?
As part of our compliance with purchasing, we have to issue a purchase order before a purchase is made. So a requisition is done by staff and it's given to me, and I issue a purchase order which says the money's there, it's part of our budget, and it's set aside then for when this bill comes due. And that's that's our purchasing procedures. In this case here, a then and now certificate has to be issued. And what that says is that at the time the money was available. So this is a purchase that has been made without going through those purchasing procedures and getting a purchase order ahead of time. And I'm, by revised code, only able to issue then and nows, which says the money was there then and is still there now, which is after the fact. I can only do that up to a $3,000 level. So in this case, this purchase was made without going through those purchasing procedures, without getting a PO ahead of time. And that's why it has to come to council, because it's over $3,000 and it's just has to be authorized by you guys to allow that purchase.
Any other questions or concerns? Okay, I will need a motion and a second to approve the then and now certificate.
Brenda Combs, motion made.
Linda Allen, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. A motion and a second to approve the minute meetings of the regular meeting September 18th, 2025, if there are no corrections or additions.
Lisa, I'll make the motion.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. Moving on to old business, Resolution 2025-39. This is the second reading, approval of an agreement with the Warren County Soil and Water Conservation District for calendar year 2026. Is there any discussion or questions? Hearing none, a motion and a second to adopt by title only.
Linda Allen, I make a motion to adopt by title only.
Brenda Combs, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. An ordinance 2025-19, second reading, approving zoning map amendment to rezone 0.281 acres of property on 150 North Main Street. A motion and a second to adopt by title only.
Brenda Combs, motion made.
Sharon Carmack, second.
Allen,
Yay.
Carmack,
Yay.
Combs,
Yay.
Better,
Yay.
Harrison,
Yay.
Spicer.
Yay.
Motion carries. Moving on to communications and reports, and I want to have Jerry speak first about someone, and then I'll take it away. So Jerry, would you like to introduce our newest member of our staff?
Mr. Minnick, you want to step up to the podium here? This is Chad Minnick. He's our new code enforcement officer. He's been hitting it hard. He's already getting his Facebook cred already. So so he's doing a great job. I'll let him give a little information about himself and background and just kind of introduce yourself and to council. So hang on, let me get you over get you on the big screen there. So everybody out there in YouTube land, I don't know who you are.
My name is Chad Minnick. I'm from Waynesville, Ohio, and I'm appreciative of the council and city to be here. Thankful for the opportunity. First 4 weeks have been busy, really busy. I've only got like a 45 to 75-minute presentation, so it'll be short, I promise. But we have been out working and been out meeting the community. Got a lot of positive response, more than the negative from Facebook. So it's been really positive out there. We've got quite a bit done already. I think I have 33 open cases right now, and most of them are complying. So we're thankful for that. So I'm a retired police officer. I retired from the city of Vandalia. I spent my career there. So, and then ended up here in South Lebanon. I'm happy to be here.
Anybody have any questions? I'm very happy to have you here. You know that.
There's any complaints, they go to Jerry.
Yeah, we're glad to have Chad here. It's been maybe something that's, hasn't got enough attention as it should have been in a long time. And he's got the demeanor to make sure that, you know, he doesn't alienate folks and do it as a good neighbor type, you know, it's not, that nobody wants to be the one getting told, you know, that they got to clean up their stuff. But, you know, I think he's going to do a good job at this and make the town a lot better.
He already has.
Appreciate that.
I do have a question. So one of our concerns was that some people, especially the elderly, are no longer able to go out here and do some of the cleanup. Do we have anything planned anywhere that we can maybe assist or something like that? Or maybe even go to the community and say, hey, how about a group of people volunteering?
We have talked about that. We have not gotten that far yet. The first 4 weeks have been really busy, just laying the groundwork down, but we do have things that we're gonna try to put in place or look for some outside help for, you know, we do recognize the elderly don't have the means, the physical ability or the money or the time. So we are mindful of that, but we will probably definitely look into some outside help if we could, to get in their churches and organizations that could help them.
A little birdie just told me that Talbot House had some of those resources.
That's good to know. You know, well, and I think that helps hand in hand with the community with the homeless, because a lot of these vacant houses, you know, they're likely to have homeless people. You know, if I were homeless and I around the cold, and you know, it's an opportunity. So if we get those taken care of and we work with our resources, then maybe we can kind of eliminate that in the city too.
Thank you. Thank you and welcome aboard.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
It hasn't been his birthday yet, so he's in for a real treat. Okay, what have I got to tell you? As you can tell, there's a lot of work going on, and we are in the process of ramping up to start interviews this month for our next city administrator, which is still very hard for me to wrap my head around at points, and but I don't want to make him feel any guiltier than he already feels, okay? I'm not gonna do that. Jennifer and I and basically the whole staff have been working on our new website. Hopefully that we will have that up and running by the end of the year. I do believe that our street paving the paving program is finishing up, but I still have to check into striping and when that's gonna happen. But crack sealing is going on now. We met with our state rep, Adam Matthews, to see if he could help us, because the state will start working on the capital budget, and there was $6 billion voted on by the state legislature for road and infrastructure improvements. So we want to get our name in the hat and see if we can get some grant money there. I can't even read my own writing. I'm going to be attending the birthday celebration for Pauline Holloway on October the 4th. Is that from 1 to 4? 1 to 4. Jennifer and I and Tina will probably be involved in this too, are working on the retirement, probably open house for Jerry, and that will be November the 20th, so mark your calendars. October the 13th at 11 a.m., Columbia Intermediate School will have a ribbon cutting. October 13th. I can't believe it's October already. So those are just a few of the things and that I have. And again, welcome aboard, Chad, and we're glad you're here. Okay, Tina, Director of Finance.
Thank you, Mayor Burke. In my office, it's been kind of busy with trying to accumulate all the requests for next year's budget, next year's capital. But I think everybody's turned their information into me, and now it's my job to compile it all and meet with the finance committee, hopefully the last week of October. So we can start to look at all the requests. It's definitely more requests than what we have funding available for. So there might be some hard decisions that have to be made into next year's budget. But the first thing is to put all that out on a spreadsheet and go over it and talk to you guys about what our priorities are. So I'd like to do that with the finance committee at the end of October, and then start with council in the month of November so that we can pass the budget at the beginning of December. Also, this past week, we had a meeting with the Center for Local Government regarding the city's health insurance plan. So we talked about that back in May, that we were looking to join the Center for Local Government, which we have. And we're at the next step now of creating the accounts, trying to then get this information out to the employees, have a discussion with them. Ideally, we'll try to hit this by January 1, which actually would be really nice because your deductibles are calendar. So it would be good transition of let's finish up this year and then try to go January 1 with those accounts. Most likely, I will try to be meeting with the Personnel Committee and the Finance Committee regarding some of that, setting up those accounts. Because with an HSA, there's usually an employer contribution to the plans. And so I'm accumulating the information of what other people in that Center for Local Government, what other employers, what's the norm, what's the average. And I want to present that as I'm looking at the budget also of, what's fair for the employee, what's fair for the employer, and that everybody has a savings compared to what we had. We had that 27% increase this past year, which for some of the individuals, when they received, I think, what was it, 2.5% maybe was our increase we gave this last year for employees' raises. That was a big impact, so we need to be mindful of that. And the rates that we are seeing from these are much better than what we currently have. So I think it's a good decision, but we need to get out in front of it and go over this with all the employees after we kind of narrow it down, so that everybody's aware of the transition. And that's what I have.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for her? Okay. Moving on to our Public Works Director, who is not here this evening. I think you all got an email from him. He is on his way to Michigan for a wedding. And our law director's not here. Jerry, I'm sorry. One of the most important, Jerry.
Just the major news of the day is that we had to confirm the trick or treat dates, October 31st, 6 to 8 p.m.
That's right, trick or treat. I forgot about that.
Only
6 to 8 p.m.
only if it's on Sunday has it been altered. So it's on a Friday this year. So the guys are doing the crack sealing now, so they should be done in the next week or so. They're getting good weather to get that get rolling. The next thing will be getting ready for the leaf pickup and getting the city winterized. We've got the schedule on the I think it's on the website. I think so. Let's see. No, we'll get up there soon. It's going out on the water bill too. So typically I think it's October 20th week is when it'll start. So get that rolling. And then the paving keeps going. The guys in the water department are flushing hydrants, I believe. So everybody's busy trying to get ready for the winter. So that's all I got.
Jerry, do you want to mention the new employee that started on Monday?
Yeah, we did have a new temporary laborer started, Ethan Treadway. So he's going to be here for 120 days. Yeah. So he also took the civil service test, so there's a possibility if, depending how it works out, if could potentially be a permanent employee.
Which we do need. Is that it, Jerry?
That's all I got.
Okay. Sergeant Adams. Hello. You snuck in.
And I was tied up on a call, got here as soon as I could. Biggest thing we have going on coming up this weekend is the changing to 12-hour shifts. So that will start tomorrow at midnight. Our new crew comes in. We did a rebid, so there'll be some new deputies you haven't seen, but they're all very good. And I pretty much get them trained up on the few nuances in South Lebanon. So if you see some new faces around here, that's our new crew.
It might be a good idea if when they have time, they could come in and introduce themselves to us when they have time. I mean, just whenever that may be.
Oh, so I'm out of town the next meeting, so there will be one of them here for
Okay.
the meeting. So you'll get to meet them, I
Can you
believe.
give us their last names?
Richardson, O'Brien, Lansdale, and Hale. Hale has been here before a couple years ago. Lansdale has been here, it was several years ago. The other two are newer to here, not newer.
I can't believe we're not going to see Deputy Fox.
I think he'll be in and out of here.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I saw a slight tear down his face here when he was taking some of his stuff out of the office to move it to his new office. So, I mean, maybe it was just the angle. I don't know. But he will miss everybody here.
Well,
He
we'll
said
miss
had
all of
he
them.
loves it down here. But sometimes you gotta, try different things. Myself, I've been at every post at the sheriff's office, so that way I have a broader knowledge of everywhere. So there's something to say about that.
Yes,
It's a good thing.
it's a good thing. But change is always hard,
It's hard.
and too much is coming at us at once. Anything else?
That's all I have.
Okay. Councilmember Spicer.
I have nothing to report this evening.
Okay. Councilmember Fetter.
To the events committee, I was gonna have a meeting on the 16th, but Bella cannot make it. She's starting in a new job on the 15th. And she will not be off, and I just heard Corey can't be here either, so, I will get with you guys. I'm thinking one day that next week, maybe that Tuesday or something, I don't know, we'll figure it out. But not on the 16th.
Okay. Councilmember Carmack.
Nothing to report?
Councilmember Harrison.
I just want to thank Savannah for bringing that presentation. We really appreciate it, and maybe we could even talk to the officers if you get a chance. But welcome aboard. And congratulations to Lisa. She is a grandma, right? A new grandma.
Oh, congratulations. Oh my gosh. And she was a big winner in horse shows last week.
showing horses for 15 years, and I finally won one.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you, it's been a good week.
It's been a good week.
Great week.
Well, and I did want to say that, Savannah coming up is a compassionate way to resolve this and to get ahead before we do have a big crisis, I believe. And so I believe everybody here on council that's in this room would be willing to work with you and appreciate you bringing that to us. And thank you guys for keeping us safe, or all the first responders. It's not me.
She's got it.
You have a good day.
Councilmember Allen.
Yes. So first of all, I want to thank whoever it was, whether it was our crew or someone else, for the grinding on Morrow Road. That looks so good. Now, my other question is, can we do that on Pumpkin Brown? Can we move it up there? Because it's kind of bad too. But just a question. But I do want to thank you. That really looks good. I even everybody at the
You're
church.
gonna have to tell me where you're talking about.
Mara Road, where we
Yeah,
just did
right.
the manholes.
Okay.
All
okay,
that grinding, it just
Ah.
looks so good. Everyone at church was tickled pink. They said they can, you know.
There's so much going on with
I know, I'm
streets.
sorry, I should have said more, but yeah. And, someone said, well, can you fix the one on Pumpkin Brown while you're at it?
There's several on
There's
Pumpkin Brown that
several,
need to be.
but that's okay. Other than that, that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Combs.
Forgot the question.
Oh, what was that question?
What
Oh,
time?
what time was that?
Ribbon cutting?
Yes.
Yes.
11
I wrote it
o'clock
down,
a.m.
11 o'clock.
And this is at school?
Yeah,
At Columbia Intermediate. Councilmember Combs.
Nothing to report. Thank you for all you do.
Okay. If there's anything for the good of the order, speak now. If not, I need a motion and a second to adjourn.
Linda, motion made.
Second.
All those in favor? Any opposed? Hearing none? Meeting adjourned.